What's up, guys? Just ate some carbs. How we looking? Look at I. What's up? What's up, guys? I'm gonna go back outside in a second. Let me grab my stand. Good morning. Good morning. Alrighty, good morning. Leave some women for the rest of us, bro. Thanks for the compliment, man. How are you this morning? How are you, Gaff? Sorry. How's things, pal? Oh, we're moving. We're moving, man. Feels like I'm focusing on doing more bodybuilding these days. So I'm trying to grow muscle. So that's what I'm up to. Now, I'm in an interesting debate with myself. Hope you're doing well. I look better outside. This lighting doesn't make me look as good. But when you look at old school bodybuilding, for those of you that care, with old school bodybuilding, you have high carbs and then you have low carbs. And I have found that when I eat more carbohydrates. No, so here's the thing. See, this is where I'm different than a lot of people. Because when I cut my carbs down and do the high protein and high fat, yeah, I get shredded. But I feel like I lose a lot. So with me, I'm actually right now putting on size. I'm eating more carbs and more fats. And I'm still eating a good amount of protein. But like one of my meals, for example, and guys, I am a certified trainer and nutritionist. So hopefully if this is something you want to talk about, I'd love to talk with you because I love talking about this. But my rice right here, I've got my rice right here, which is always warm. I keep it 24/7. I'm using rice, protein, and I eat more carbs, especially when I'm training volume. Now, my question is, excuse me, any of you guys in the chat, do any of you guys train? Do any of you try to build muscle? I'm obviously bulking, right? Yeah, but you know, I'm bulking when I'm not trying to be like, even though I'm bulking, I mean, look, my waist, I mean, I'm almost 40 years old, guys. My waist is still kind of tight, but I'm not lifting heavy right now, guys. I'm doing a lot of volume. Now, my question to you guys is, if you've ever trained volume training, I mean large muscle groups, 20 sets, small muscle groups, 12, 15 sets, time under tension. I feel like when I train with that much volume, the carbs work to help keep the glycogen full, right? And I feel like I get better results. I mean, the question is, do I have a protein? Yeah, I have protein and I use it, but I feel like To be truthful, I feel like my body does better when my protein is, still pretty high. Like I'm 230 pounds at 6'4". So my protein is like, I don't know, maybe 200 to 300 grams a day, if that. Okay, cool. So let me tell you. So that's what I'm saying. So instead of, okay, look, what I would say, 230 pounds of sexy ass. Okay, cool. Okay, so if you're bulking and you're focusing on protein, I think you're doing it wrong, man. I really do. Because if I want, like, I'm holding water, obviously. If I were to cut my carbs, because remember, 1 gram of carbs holds 3 molecules of water. So when you eat carbohydrates, first off, you don't need as much protein, but I'm gonna get on a rant. Let me go outside because it's cold and I wanna go take a walk because it's like 30 degrees outside and I'm a Viking heritage. I need cold. So like this, my meals are basically jasmine rice, a protein, and then my fats, right? Well, guys, you got to remember, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys saying, hey, cool. But there's a lot of work that goes into this. Like I'm training twice a day. I stretch in the middle of the day and, I'm natural. So I'm living on food and this is my little stretch spot. But anyways, I'm ADHD, so forgive me if my brain goes off rant. But when it comes to bulking, I have found that when I up my protein too high, I feel like doo-doo. I think, what's up, Chess Devil? I think that all the protein is a scam to where the supplement industry is trying to get you to eat protein that they sell. Now, I know protein is important. I know it's important. But when you think about building your body, you need energy and calories. So once you hit your protein threshold, the rest of your calories should be split between energy, which would be carbohydrates and fats. And with me being larger, right? If I don't eat my carbohydrates and I'm flat, yeah, I'll have more definition, but there's a time and place for that. When I'm trying to bulk and build size, I want to be able to train as often as I can and get a pump. And I can't do that when I don't eat a lot of carbohydrates. What is your opinion? So again, I'm not saying, look, I'm not like a large professional bodybuilder or anything, because I'm not. But I am a guy almost 40 who looks okay, and I have had some injuries, and I actually have legs, right? So for me, I find that to keep my physique, like you see how my physique is kind of balanced. I've got some legs, I've got some shoulders, I've got the lats. I can't maintain and build when my protein is that high. So instead, I do more volume training, focus on pumping blood, and I eat more energy, and I measure the carbs and fats. Chris Bumstead does the same thing. In the off season, he eats more fats and carbs, and he only ups his protein when he wants to get on stage and get cut. So I'm kind of using that same methodology. He says, I'm currently having full fat milk and porridge and oats drink and at night. Yeah, you see, I've gone through phases where I do that. This is what I would say. If you feel like you absorb that food, go for it. In addition to that drink, because you got the oats, you got the complex carbs, you got the full fat milk, so you're getting a lot of calories. Now, when you're in the gym, I hope you're using volume style training, because with that many calories in your system, you're gonna wanna burn through those calories. So when you eat that many calories and then you provide a proper stimulus and then you give yourself rest, the body will grow. However, I don't like a lot of oats. I like rice, right? For me, I like rice and I use curry seasoning. This will be something for you guys. I do like that smoothie though, because you got the full fat. But in addition to that, add some curry seasoning to your rice, because the curry seasoning has anti-inflammatory properties. So this has coconut cream, it has ginger, garlic, coriander, cinnamon, black pepper, lemon, cumin seeds. Curry powder is the ultimate like booster for your rice, right? Do I have a tattoo on my back? I don't think I have a tattoo on my back. I've got one that goes around. My back, getting some lumps in there. I've been training my rear delts a lot. So some of these lumps and stuff you see, I've been sitting there on this machine and I only take like 25 pounds. Like there's this guy the other day who's literally 130 pounds. And he's got so much weight on this thing. He's just, and I'm over there and I grab it and I just do this. I grab the thing, I pull my chest back and I do this. You know, when I come back, I get a good contraction, like, well, bam. I'm not pumped up right now or anything, but you see how I have that contraction? When it comes to building muscle, I think that tension is more important than load. Well, it's not low weight. Okay, here. Okay, so if you're new to this, let me teach you something. Because I've been training people for close to a while. Let me tell you something. It's not necessarily low weight. It's not low weight. You want to use the heaviest weight you can. But it's in the desired result is to get tension. So, here's the thing. For me, you'd want tension, right? So, it's not that you just want to use a light weight. You want to use a weight that allows you to get the most tension on a muscle. For example, if I'm trying to train my chest, right? You see how I can pop it a little bit? And again, I'm not a juiced up bodybuilder, so this is like what it looks like when you're using food and staying natural, okay? So, now, if I want to pop my chest, you see here? Boom, boom. If I do this, you don't see that contraction. What you want to do is you want to contract. You want to pull yourself in a position, contract into the motion. Think about not lifting and contracting. Think about contracting into movement. Don't move and contract. Contract into movement. Contract into movement. The load will build muscle, but the tension and the time and the distance and how you put it on your muscle, that will directly influence hypertrophy more than load itself. That's what I believe. I haven't had my BMI. My BMI, that's a good question. I haven't checked my BMI or my body fat. I don't really care. What I do is I look in the mirror. I look in the mirror and I say, okay, like, do I have a little bit of stomach, right? I look in the mirror and based on how I look, then I adjust my nutrients. Does that make sense? So it's not heavyweight, it's not lightweight. You want to lift weight that creates the most amount of tension. Right, now, that's different if you're doing powerlifting, because I used to power lift a little bit. And when it came to powerlifting, let me put this up, okay? So, when it came to powerlifting, how much deforestation? We've been busy. Well, we're gonna build a building. I'm building an office right here, and I'm probably gonna live in it. So, but again, here's a picture right through here So what I focus on when I train is I focus on proportion. So you see how my shoulders are popping right through here. You see how my shoulders are really big and my waist is really small right through here. And you see how I actually have calves too. So for me, it's all about tension. So even though you can lift heavy weight and you will create full body tension, if your desire is to keep a narrow waist and build muscle and have more of a physique, it's not about the amount of weight that you lift. It's not. It's about putting the weight on a specific portion of the body and creating tension. That is exactly how I have been pretty much been building muscle. And I don't lift heavy. Like, everybody in the gym that I train with lifts heavier than me. Everybody lifts heavier than me. Yet, when we stand side by side and do poses and stuff, you know, I still have gaps in my physique. I know that. But I'm telling you, the volume training works. But the key is you got to keep carbohydrates in your system and you got to keep your glycogen full. Don't believe these people that tell you, yeah, for sure. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, that smoothie is going to do good for you. Love and peace. Hope everyone's having a blessed day. Yep. But just keep in mind, if you're just starting out in your journey, you want to build strength, right? Use your strength. But when you want a portion of your body to actually grow, it's about how much tension. Like if you take a weight and you put it out to here for your shoulder, holding the weight here versus here versus here versus here versus here versus here, all these different ways to hold the weight, each one affects the movement pattern and the curve. So when it comes to sculpting your body, you need to understand these movement curves. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff out here. A couple trees, all of this. So another thing that's pretty important when it comes to building muscle, I believe, is cardio. When you have your off days, I think it's good to go walk around and move. But even with high volume like I do, and you're not always training to like be heavy, you're more for the pump. What you're going to notice is you'll be able to train more frequently because your central nervous system never gets completely taxed. And if your central nervous system never gets taxed, then you can stimulate muscle growth more frequently. Everybody hit that like button. Absolutely. And today's my rest day. So on my rest days, I load up on food and I try to restore my glycogen. Remember, your glycogen, when it comes to building muscle, you have myofibrils. You can get them thicker, but if you want to get larger, you need to get your body to hold more fluid. Sarcoplasma. So holding the sarcoplasma is about volume. And for me, you see how I have like these peacock lats right through here? See? Right through here. My whole goal when I go into the gym is to put more blood. Like if I want this to grow, I'm getting as much blood as I can there. So I need to be eating the day before, have glycogen in my system, be rested, and be able to get blood into that area. That's what's going to swell it up. Now, I still believe that every now and then it's good to feel something heavy, like some 6 to 8 reps, but you don't need to train heavy all the time. Not if you're trying to build hypertrophy and size. It doesn't work. I'm telling you. I mean, everybody's genetics are different, but